Welcome back to the Lipedema Podcast. We are your host, Shell.
And Tiana, and today our special guest is not only a lipedema warrior, but a naturopath who helps support women with lipedema. We have Erin Dalton with us. Erin, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Shell and Tiana. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay!
Our pleasure.
We're going to get straight into it. How did you come to learn of lipedema, and when was that?
So I learnt about lipedema about 7 years ago on social media, like so many of us do and have. I was in a sewing group because I sew my own clothes a lot because I find it easier to fit and find what I like. And I was in a sewing group and someone posted a picture of a pattern they'd made and said that, this pattern was a great fit for their lipedema legs. And I'd never heard of that before, but having always had issues with fitting things to my legs, I zoomed in and had a look and went, those are my legs. So, went down the rabbit hole of researching lipedema, found the Lipedema Australia Facebook page very quickly, and the rest is history.
That's crazy. And actually, I'm pretty jealous that you have the sewing skill because, I think about how disproportionate the body shape of a lipedema woman is and how much that would help if you had those skills to be able to alter your clothing or make clothing. How long have you been sewing for, Erin?
I've been sewing probably for most of my life, but, didn't do much, in my sort of, early 20s, teens until I had kids and I started sewing for kids. But also at that time, I'd had a lot of lipedema progression and was really struggling to find things I liked that fit. So I found that there was a lot of amazing patterns available. And then I learned how to make minor adjustments to make things fit better for me. And for many years, I mostly wore clothes I'd made. The shopping options are a lot better these days, though. And thank goodness, like bishop sleeves are in fashion, so we can find a lot more things in the shops than what we used to.
Yeah, I was just saying, like when I was growing up, because I'm 50, so growing up when I did, my mum had to make my clothes because there were no larger sizes and there wasn't a lot of stretch fabric either.
That's so true.
So, yeah,
the times have really, like even in normal clothing stores, they have a larger variety of sizes now rather than going to specialty stores. I remember my mum always had to go to specialty stores to be able to find clothing that fit her. And now it's more, thank goodness, but still the shape of our bodies, like if you find something that fits on the legs, you got to know that you've got lots of room up in the waist because of our bodies.
Yeah. And when you do find something that fits, you go and buy it in every colour.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, you spend like $1,000 because you finally found something that is a good fit.
Found the pair of jeans that fit. Let me buy all of them to last me the next few years.
Jeans, yeah, it's a struggle. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm jealous about your sewing skills. So you mentioned that you heard about it through lipedema, you heard about lipedema through your sewing. That's so interesting. And yeah, both Shelley and I heard about lipedema through social media as well. So the power of social media is prevalent. But with your body, did you search for answers about your body prior to finding out about lipedema?
I think I just accepted what we've all been told by the GP is that you just need to lose weight. You just need to work harder to lose weight. You just need to go to the gym and eat less. And I'd done that for 25 years, 30 years by that point. I'd done 10 hours plus at the gym in my 20s a week and actually got bigger, and I'd done every diet under the sun, and some of them had worked for a little while, but really never really any change to my legs. And then later on progressed more in my arms as well. So it's similar. So I think when I think back at that point in time, I should have been looking for answers because I was actually in a pretty bad way. I was actually really struggling with mobility and pain. But I was also pretty sure if I went to the GP, I was just going to get told to go on another diet and maybe go to the gym a bit more. So I kind of figured that I already knew that. So so thank goodness that person on Facebook posted a picture of themselves so I could learn about it.
Yes, thank goodness for social media. And so when did you believe, now that you know about lipedema and you've known for some time, when do you believe that your lipedema started to develop?
Definitely puberty for me, which was 11. And then I remember even being 13 in the gym dressing room trauma. At high school, getting changed after swimming lessons, swimming class. Our school had a swimming pool. Yay, lucky us. We got to do swimming for PE. And definitely looking around, the dressing room at everyone else getting changed, going, one of these things is not like the other. 100% my legs looked different from, 12, 13. So yeah, definitely progressed a bit at puberty and then had bigger legs, but, a fairly standard shape, just always a bit bigger, right through to my 20s. And then really when I was pregnant with my first child, my son, when I was 27, really started to struggle with swelling. I remember after he was born, I think we worked out I probably was holding about 22 kilos of water between my last prenatal check and my first weigh-in at home. I lost 27 kilos, no, 22 kilos. So maybe I was holding 15 kilos of water. And then, there was all that big drama at the end of my pregnancy that I'd gained so much weight. And I remember saying to them, look how swollen my legs are. Look how much water I'm retaining, And then, by the time I got home and weighed myself again, I was actually back at my pre-pregnancy weight by the time I got home from hospital again. So that was sort of probably...
that fluid must have been so uncomfortable.
It was. I was so happy. I went to labour at 38 weeks and I was so happy because I just wanted to get that baby out and get things back to normal. I was lucky enough to have a water birth with him, which was amazing because I just literally did not want to stand or sit on my legs at all. That was fantastic. But that should have been a time when it should have been picked up. But of course, no one knew about it. And even the midwives afterwards, were looking and saying, we're really worried about your legs. We really don't know what's going on with your legs. We're really worried. That was it. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah, no one had any idea.
Yeah, and you have 2 kids. So you've been through 2 pregnancies, yeah. How did your lipedema go, through the postpartum? I'm particularly interested, selfishly, because I'm postpartum at the moment, the second time.
Yes. Yeah.
How did you fare with your postpartum journey with lipedema?
So 100% had huge progression postpartum with my first child. He, it was a very stressful time. He was a very highly sensitive baby with some food intolerances and some other stuff going on. And we've since learned that he's neurodivergent, and that probably was playing a very big part of that as well. So he didn't sleep much at all until he was 8, 10. He still has low sleep needs. And so I think really the high stress and the high cortisol time was probably the biggest progression for me. So like I said, I came home from hospital, I fit back into my pre-pregnancy clothes and I was at my pre-pregnancy weight. And then very quickly after that, and breastfeeding as well. I think breastfeeding was a bit of a trigger time as well. Noticed a lot of progression after that. Second time round was eating a lot differently. Had worked out that I was fairly gluten intolerant by then, so I wasn't eating that. And also remembering how bad my swelling was with my first child, I intentionally refused to get pregnant and have another summer baby. Like I said, we will try, from here to here, and then we will stop, and then we will try from here to here again, because he was born in February and that was just miserable. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that again. So second time around, I had a September baby. Being pregnant through winter was much nicer. I bought a maternity compression stockings, tights, they're probably just, not even class 1, but wore those pretty much all through winter. And so, that was great. So didn't have the swelling issues, didn't have any of those issues with my daughter. She's just, a different kid, a lot more chill. She still had food intolerances and health stuff going on, but she's a lot more chill. And I guess I was just a lot more chill second time. So I feel like most of my progression really happened in my first postpartum period.
Gotcha. Like you, breastfeeding was not kind to me. I really did progress through that. And I was excited to try and breastfeed because you get told that you lose weight because you're burning a whole bunch of calories, and it's just a complete and utter myth in my life. I was really annoyed that it didn't work for me. I'm sorry for you, but I'm also glad that I'm not alone.
No. And I remember colleagues going, oh, you're breastfeeding. Oh, you'll lose 20 kilos breastfeeding. I'm like, I am breastfeeding 15 hours a day. This kid just does not stop feeding. I can guarantee you I've not lost 20 kilos.
Yeah. Oh, man. We were ripped off.
Totally ripped off. Yeah, 100%.
You can tell I'm really bitter about it still.
It's too fresh.
I haven't healed.
It's still very fresh. My kids are much older now, so I'm digging into the archives here.
Yeah, how old are your kids now? Sorry, Erin, you're 2?
So my My first is 14 and my second is coming up to 11 in September.
Yeah, awesome. Nice one. And sorry, how old are you, if you don't mind us asking? Just because, you know, we've been, the perimenopause topic has been very prominent in our discussions lately.
How old am I now? I am 41, turning 42 in September.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic.
And yeah, perimenopausal completely.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, we can dig into that a little bit later. But before we do, now with your knowledge about lipedema and the fact that you've had progression throughout usual time, normal, other different times in your life, how are you managing your lipedema currently?
So at the moment, I'm actually not doing a heap right now, apart from wearing class 1 compression. I eat anti-inflammatory Mediterranean style diet mostly. I'm completely gluten-free because you do not want to see me eating gluten. But I'm actually, having reflected, you know, and preparing for this and some other things I'm working on at the moment, I realized that I've got to a place where my lipedema is actually pretty easy to manage. Like, I feel like it's not taking up as much of my time at the moment, but there was certainly a very intense period the first few years after I was diagnosed where I was needing to do all the things. I was vibration plate, I was rebounding, I was, I bought a, I had MLD. I had a fantastic MLD therapist, bought a trained MLD therapist who was using like cold laser, low level laser on me, and that was amazing. And so I was seeing her, you know, every couple of months. And then during COVID lockdown, I went and bought myself a laser because I couldn't see her, so that really helped. I really love a massage gun. I know, super controversial, but I found that to be an absolute game changer for me. And it was really interesting chatting to some massage therapists at the Lipedema conference last year, and, you know, there was a little bit of a mention of massage gun. I was telling her, I said, I actually, you know, don't kill me, but I actually love my massage gun. And they were talking about like the fascia and actually like breaking down the fibrosis in the fascia. And, you know, I said to her, maybe that's what I've done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found it an absolute game changer. And so I think it was like 2019 when I was first diagnosed. I was really struggling. I was in a world of pain. I was, you know, like if I had to do the grocery shop that day, I couldn't cook dinner that night. Or I would cook dinner and then I would just be in too much pain to even eat it. Like, I'd put it on the table and I'd go and lie down. So, you know, that was real struggle. My legs would be swollen up to my knee by the end of the day. You know, wasn't really able to walk or exercise or enjoy any of that because, or if I did do it, that would be it. That's all I could do today. So now, after a couple of really intense years of really working on my lipedema management, my lymphatic system, my diet, these days I've got compression socks on right now and I take some supplements and I eat well. That's it, really. And then, you know, very occasionally I'll have MLD throughout the summer a couple of times and use my rebounder and my laser and my massage gun occasionally and that sort of thing.
Nice. That's nice how you've gone from feeling pressured to do all the things to like settling into the things that you know make a big impact for you and not having to do all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have got to a point where my pain is zero, and my swelling is pretty much zero as well, like low, manageable. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I had that day, just when you just wake up and you just know it's going to be a bad day and everything hurts. I haven't had one of those for a couple of years. I think the last time I had one of those, I got glutened, and I definitely feel it the next day after I've eaten gluten. So that's always a good reminder for me not to do that. So yeah.
It's so good because we have to get to that point where it is lifestyle. It's just part of who we are and what we do to look after ourselves and not to constantly feel like a chore.
Otherwise it would be too hard.
Yeah, so I think you're at a beautiful place with it. You've found, and I was reading something the other day, like we try all of these things and think we have to do them all, but we've got to find what's right for us. Like when it comes to conservative management, for food, for supplements, for everything. Like we are so diverse that different things work for different people.
100%. And I see that a lot, in my work as well. Like what I use on one person, another person might come back and go, nope, okay, good to know. So, but yeah, I think we're all, our nutrition needs, how our body and our microbiome in particular responds to what we eat is all completely individual. There's no one way that everyone should be following at all.
For sure, which makes it harder, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I sort of think it's a double-edged sword because we've got so many options and not everything works for everybody. So you've got that freedom to sort of try and test things, but then nobody's there to tell you exactly what's going to work. So you spend a lot of your life trialing and testing and, trial and error and feeling disheartened in the process if you can't find that thing straight away.
Yes, there's no blueprint. But then there's also what works for you in one season may not work for the next.
Oh, that's so true.
So just when you think,
Yes.
yes, I've got this planned, in comes like perimenopause or menopause or pregnancy or whatever it is. It's like, back to the drawing board.
Got to recalibrate. Yeah.
Yeah, 100% can be really tricky to navigate, and accept that as you change, things need to change as well. So it's definitely a challenge that we all
life change.
face.
I like it to stay the same.
And the other thing is, like, there's some amazing new technology and things being developed. Like, now, we know all about red light and how beneficial that can be, and that was not being talked about a few years ago. So there's, lots of new opportunities coming up as well.
Yeah.
I'm such a fan of red light therapy. I'm a convert. Like, I've got a red light panel, and what it's done for me, my mental health has been crazy.
I need to invest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
I'm trying to convince my husband to put like an infrared sauna with red light somewhere in the house, but I don't know, we're going to have to kick out a kid or something to fit it in. So maybe
they're old enough to fend for themselves now, aren't they?
Really?
Actually, yeah, I do infrared sauna. I love infrared sauna.
Yeah.
So you did mention then, Erin, the few things that you still use. And the massage gun was a big one. But what has been like the best treatment for relieving your symptoms? Like, what do you think it was?
I think the massage gun, me and my massage gun, like, we were like this for a long time. Like, it was probably, like half an hour every day, really working on my legs. If I felt pain or swelling, I would actually just lie down my bed, listen to an audio book or a podcast, and just, spend about 20-30 minutes running the massage gun up and down my legs. I did have like a lot of fibrosis around the top of my thighs. It's a lot softer than it used to be, and some patches even in my inner thighs as well, that I've done a lot of work sort of breaking that down. And I think that breaking down that fibrosis has allowed for a lot better lymphatic drainage in that area. So again, I know some people are going to come at me, but I love my massage gun.
But I'm thinking of it, it's in my head, like, we're talking about the fascia, and the fascia has multiple layers. It's not just at the top. So MLD is soft, but there's got to be a mechanism of deeper tissue massage that helps the deeper fascia, and maybe that might be where your swelling is occurring, deeper in those layers rather than at the surface where some of the other, like, we're all different.
We're all different, and that's what we have to keep coming back to. Like, that may not have worked for that person, and there's been no real good longitudinal studies on anything.
No, we're all just making up as we go along, aren't we? So, So, and it is, like, I know people, like, and even I say to my clients, look, it's controversial, try it, but you shouldn't be bruising and you shouldn't be in agony doing it. Like, so you can only give it a go and see if it works for you. So.
Yeah, so with the massage gun, just because I have one and don't use it.
Unless I have an injury.
Oh, okay, yeah. So would you run it over the nodules or over your entire leg? Like, how, because you mentioned your outer thigh, your inner thigh, so you just sort of run it up and down?
Yeah, really up and down, like, but any sort of, like, if you've got any sort of those, like, harder areas, where there's, like, real lumpy fibrosis there, I did spend a lot of time breaking down a bit of fibrosis. And I've actually been thinking lately I really need to do my arms a lot more than I have been, because there's a lot going on there. But and just, I would even, like, I would notice a difference if I was, like, my ankles, if I was not wearing compression, which, to be honest, during summer I don't often wear compression, and my ankles starting to get a bit puffy by the end of the day, I would go and do that for 20 minutes and the fluid would move, like it would move. But also I was also using my cold laser a lot at the same time. Like, I would often be able to laser some lymph node areas, and having like an understanding of the lymphatic system and where those main lymph node clusters helps. So I could be like, okay, well, my legs are swollen, so there's the lymph nodes in my groin or in my abdomen, sort of upstream of there as well. And understanding, the effect of the low-level laser therapy and how it actually like dilates both our arteries, but also our lymphatic vessels as well, to allow for more fluid to come through. So it could have been a combination. I'm like a more is more kind of person. So, at the time I was like, just do everything until something helps. And then in hindsight, I'm like, I don't know what helped the most. They all did. So
we get to that point, don't we? If you throw everything at the wall, it's like, what was it that actually worked?
Yeah.
Was it the combination of all 10 things I tried, or was it just one?
It was, 100%. Like, and I'm the same with supplements. Every so often I'll stop taking. I'm like, is that actually doing anything? Maybe I'll have a month off that and see if I miss it or not, So can't remember what's for what and what I'm doing with what. So good to test it out.
That's so true. Can you talk a little bit about what you supplement with? Like, I know that supplements are like they have to be tailored to you based on your deficiency. So this isn't like, but I'm just wondering if there is particular supplements that you take specifically for like your lymph, your lipedema, your, the flow in your body, and something that you feel has been beneficial.
Yeah. So I have to start with a bit of a warning that herbal supplements and any sort of nutritional supplements are medicines. And if you are taking any other supplements or medications, if you have any health conditions, you should not be standing at the chemist picking things off the shelf. I have people come in my room all the time who are taking things that I'm like, oh, no, please no. And we've all seen in the news at the moment that, lots of B6 toxicity is going on because we're all taking magnesium and a B supplement and a zinc supplement, and they've all got B6 in them, which is the problem. So I don't often like talk about what I take or promote it, just because I worry that people will go out and and overdo it and help themselves. And I literally see people coming in with garbage bags for supplements as well that I have to sift through. But there are some amazing herbal medicines that actually support the integrity of our collagen and our vascular system. And so I do take some of those. Some of these were prescribed to me by my naturopath while I was still a student naturopath, and I found a huge improvement in those. And then, being the nerd that I am, I went and it was like a complex supplement with like 4 or 5 things in it, and I was like, right, I'm going to take these out and I'm going to try them separately to see which one is actually giving me the most benefit.
Cool.
So there is a supplement that works really well for me, and it's grapeseed extract, and I've been taking that pretty regularly for 5 years now. But again, it may not work the same for everyone, and is something that you need to be able to check against your medications and your other health conditions to check as well. But there are a lot of supplements in that category within the herbal medicine sort of sphere that we know actually help improve the integrity of our collagen, help support the vascular system, and improve the integrity of our vascular system to help with that venous return, blood return, and also to work alongside the lymphatic system at the same time. So those are the sort of my key ones, but I do rotate and take a lot of different supplements depending on what's going on at the time as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, really important disclaimer at the start. We've all been subject to buying off the shelf supplementation because we panic, and iHerb is very accessible.
I just said I've still got like a box in my cupboard full of like iHerb randoms, and I need to go through, and every time I look at it, I'm like, what were you thinking? Oh my goodness. So
why did I buy that one?
My secret shame.
But that's the thing. As soon as a new supplement comes out, like, it's all over Instagram, and all these people are trying it, and blah blah blah, and we're like, yeah, okay, works for them.
Yeah,
it's going to work for us.
Yeah.
We don't take into consideration their great marketing budget.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. The other thing to be really mindful of with like any sort of, naturopathic herbal medicine supplements is it's not the quick fix that we're all hoping it is. Like it's time. Like it's taking things consistently for 3 to 6 months to really notice a difference. Like it's not going to be amazing in 1 week. I've got some really cool supplements that work on the lymphatic system when there is lymphatic congestion, and we can usually see an improvement in that in a couple of weeks. But it's really a long-term sort of plan and consistency. And, I think a lot of people sort of expect something to work really quick. And of course, I get it. But if I had a cure for lipedema, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd be a millionaire.
Totally. If you had a quick fix, you'd be a millionaire.
Yeah. So
and I guess that's the thing with like natural therapies. You're working holistically. And you're going to the root cause and supporting that system. And so it's not going to be a quick fix because we've got to get the systems and all the mechanisms working properly. And that takes time.
It does. And we're sort of diving more into naturopath than lipedema warrior at the moment. 100% sort of trying to work out, obviously everyone who sees me with lipedema is still going to have lipedema at the end of the day. But, what is their major cause of inflammation? Is it gut inflammation? Is it nutrient deficiency? Is it immune overactivation? And, how can we target the underlying cause of inflammation to sort of take that down for them really for most people it takes 3 to 6 months, really, at least. And that's with doing some good functional testing to really identify what's going on in the first place as well.
Yeah. You've actually led very nicely into our next question, like changing what from your, lipedema experience as a warrior into your naturopathy.
And you know what? What we might do is we might stop it there and we'll pick up with you next time.
Yeah, good idea. We're going to do a new episode.
Yes. The Lipedema Podcast 2025 is powered by Elegance Lymphatic Care. Lipedema and its symptoms vary from individual to individual. The opinions and advice voiced in this podcast are of a personal nature and used for educational purposes.
Please take away from this podcast what resonates with you, and please see your GP or preferred specialist for diagnosis and healthcare. We are Shelley and Tiana from the Lipedema Podcast. Until our next episode, bye for now.